No, he didn't.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Ray,
happened?
yeah.
No, he didn't.
Ray, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Who did he masturbate
It was
on?
Asuka.
Wait, what happened?
It's a long. It's
Wait, who masturbated on somebody's body? But no, yeah, and dude, like no shit. The only reason
I feel like they made a 40.
I watched Death Note was just it was a chill day. I think it was like a Saturday, and I had nothing to do. I didn't have school. I didn't have none of that stuff. So I was like, screw it. I'm gonna just sit. I'm gonna have a Netflix day. I'm gonna Netflix and chill myself. That's just how serious it's gonna get with the chill part.
I'm telling you, Evangelion has everything you possibly. What are you playing? No, get that fucking bullshit ass.
What do you mean bullshit ass?
Look, the house don't even want to fucking.
What do you mean?
Oh wait, is that the Neon Genesis?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were playing.
No.
I thought you were playing Code.
It played like the first like 8 seconds of it. How do you not notice it? We were just
because I couldn't hear anything because of these fucking earphones.
Get better ears.
What? Just turn up the mic volume.
You know.
See, look. Holy shit. But you
I
can hear the world
God, but
now.
I can hear myself more.
You can hear the world now,
stop.
can't you?
Play.
You're gonna get us copyrighted because of this.
I edit this. I make sure we don't get copyrighted.
But
you can put more puppies back there or something.
We don't really get copyrighted unless we make money off it. That's the only way.
So look, this show has everything. It has gory, goddamn nasty mechs that fucking morph and change and are technically like living things. It has fucking 14-year-old boys math.
Oh, cold opens are the best when no one else but me knows.
We're evening it out. The Iron Warriors cold open was like 5 minutes long. We're gonna have a 30-second long one this time. Shit. Okay.
Evangelion has everything. Boys.
There goes the 30 seconds of the cold open.
Boom.
Oh, that's fucking.
Release the puppies.
Yeah. I may have to do that. I have to find like something else to do instead of puppies. I feel like that'd be overused if I did it twice.
Use kittens.
Yeah, use kittens.
Okay, yeah.
And then like next one, use like baby otters or something.
Oh, good idea. I like it.
You are now listening to Heresy FM. This ain't your commissar station.
All right. So, welcome all to the podcast. This is the Serpent's Lodge podcast. Serpent's Lodge. Serpent's Lodge. Yep.
This isn't your commissar's radio station.
They just listen to that.
Yeah, they just heard that.
just listen to it.
Yeah.
They can listen to whatever the fuck I want to say.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah,
All right. With that is our one and only Groot, Scoot, and Boogie here.
Rootastic.
Oh, baby.
Also here we got Step Bro.
So
So-
he did the long intro. I'm just gonna say sub. We're gonna move on.
All right,
Speaking
and
of
I am your boy Corn Berserker.
Yeah.
We're talking about the White Scars today, and apparently we're still in the EC and Iron Warriors episode. Apparently,
Yeah, we're back to loyalists.
just a little bit. Yeah.
Tiny
Yeah.
bit.
All right, so on to the Space Mongolians.
On to the Space Mongolians. So in order to talk about them, we're gonna take things a little bit of a different route. We're gonna start from the very beginning.
In the beginning,
We're gonna start from the very beginning.
I was there the day the Mongolians invaded
China. Don't
So-
kiss China is asshole.
So we're gonna start from the beginning, where they weren't the White Scars; they were the Star Hunters.
Ooh.
So this was before
great name change, by the way.
Yeah,
I really appreciate.
yeah,
I think Star Hunters has more gravitas than just White Scars.
bro. That sounds like a fucking David Bowie song.
Star Hunters. That sounds like his backup
I mean,
singers.
fair, yeah.
David Bowie and the Star
We got
Hunters.
Legion literally called the Space Wolves, so I feel like
Now introducing the new funk band Bootsy Collins and the Star Hunters.
okay, you know what? Fair
They are
play.
literally
Okay, fair play. I see
they
that.
are literally the band of every like 70s music scene.
Rick James and the Star Hunters.
Yeah.
So they were the 5th Legion created. They were also the first to actually see action with the Thunder Warriors, the
they were there.
feared, prior to Space Marine Legion, the big old nasty
Yeah, so they have some experience right out the get go in that case. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of combat experience. They were given the sole duty of in the beginning of tracking these hidden layers of all the warlords of Terra, and basically find because of them being Astartes and having the souped up jeans and
The Levi's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Better Levi's instead of Wranglers. They were able to deal with like the toxicity of Terra better than the Thunder Warriors, I guess could, which made them perfect for like recon and stuff like that. And so yeah, unfortunately, they didn't get a lot of notice.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I assume if you're in the recon company, sort of like that type of deal, you're not exactly doing like the grand stage of stuff, like what the Imperial Fist went through at Terra, stuff like that. Not a lot of attention, not a lot of recognition, but somebody's got to do the job.
Thankless job, but someone's got to do it, and that was kind of the way they saw it. They got little, kind of little pleasures out of it, like at least I know I did that.
Yeah.
Nobody else may know it, but me and the guys that were here, we knew that.
Man, what a great attitude, Pedro! What a great attitude. Yeah.
But eventually, Terra did unify. The Emperor finally succeeded in his plan. The Emperor, he got all of his shit together, was like, all right, Terra's mine. Now to space. Because, this is 40K. Fucking sci-fi space.
Up, and away.
The Star Hunters, they were like, let's fucking go. They were, top tier pioneers. And because of this, they ended up adopting a lot of, very like mobile warfare hit and run tactics.
Yeah.
Which eventually made them into like perfect raiders and pioneers for the Great Crusade and the unification. They were the first to discover Chthoniya, actually.
Horus' own planet. So they're the ones who initially like found him out.
Yeah, they were the initial ones to find Horus.
Major White Scars L right there.
Yeah. All could have been prevented if fucking the White Scars weren't so fucking gung-ho at their job.
Couldn't just exterminate us the planet from orbit before checking. Goddamn.
Yeah. All right. You hear
Rick,
that?
what are you doing here?
Oh no.
I turned myself into a White Scar, Morty.
I'm Mongolian. Let's go.
You were talking about space, and immediately he had to show up.
So this ended up cementing pretty much a pretty good bond between Horus and the White Scars, with Star Hunters, whatever. Horus and Jaghatai. Jaghatai wasn't very close with very many of his Primarch brothers, which Jaghatai hasn't even really been found yet. But I mean, if your sons have a really good relationship with their uncle,
it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, oh look, Dad, we found your brother, and he's been so great and so nice to us. We fought side by side. He's just a swell guy.
Yeah, come on, Dad, go hang out with Uncle Jerry. And then Uncle Jerry's some pristine guy, but the dad they're talking to is like some washed up drunk living in a cabin. He's like, leave me alone. Oh, I just want to ride my Harley. Come on. That's about it.
That is essentially Jaghatai. Jesus Christ.
I'll say that seems to be like the big deal whenever it comes to Jaghatai, because obviously we have more legions that are more like open to working with everybody else. They're more cooperative. They can do stuff. No matter what attitude they took towards working towards others, they were like always do a very public role.
Mm-hmm.
White Scars, they just wanted to fuck off and be by themselves, right? Mainly like whenever Jaghatai came into the mix.
Yeah, he was very standoffish. He was very much a loner. Just let me do my thing. And
it took them 50 years to find Jaghatai.
Yeah, it took them a while. They ended up actually
it took half a century to find this guy.
Oh yeah, but because of their highly mobile method of warfare and their hit and run, their super fast attack, they ended up developing a motto, which each day is a new victory, because they were attacking people so fast that they didn't have a chance to react. Well, they ended up coming off of some very, very heavy losses because I guess I didn't exactly look into what happened.
It's a cruel
Yeah.
galaxy.
But
Yeah.
it's a very, very cruel galaxy.
Yeah, they had a lot of duties, and they were freaking sustaining heavy losses. And rather than ask for aid, they chose to just live and die in the manner and locations that they chose. They're like, "Hey, screw it."
Yeah, they were just
Fair
like
enough on
they pretty much decided not to ask for help, and that eventually became almost a make or break point for the Legion, until they did find Jaghatai.
Until they picked up Genghis. I mean,
Found him
Jaghatai.
on the planet of Chagoris, which is a very, very not rich planet at all. Pretty much it's almost like the 40K equivalent of Tatooine. It's
fucking Tatooine. There's like more planes and steppe people as compared to
a bunch of Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
Except it's fucking Tusken Mongolians. But so Jaghatai, they end up finding Jaghatai. Jaghatai was pretty much a part of like a raiding group, warring tribe. And Jaghatai saw something in the Emperor. He saw that the Emperor was really a man who embodied, his ideals and everything. And he really saw the Emperor not necessarily as a father figure, which I mean none of the Primarchs really did.
Well, to a degree, yeah.
I mean, saw him as obviously, oh, you're my creator, but
yeah, probably more Jaghatai. But I do know, like with Horus and some of like mainly the early found guys, that obviously the Emperor would actually take them back to Terra, teach them, tutor them. A lot of the times, like personally, and then sometimes you sort of like dole out the task to like Malcador or perhaps somebody else. But
Malcador take care of the kids.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh no.
Oh, so to go back to Chagoris to correct something on there, because we don't want to be accused of being like a famous Warhammer guy who essentially makes things up just to get views and stuff.
He's got poopy hair.
Yeah. Chagoris
and a stupid mustache.
Yeah, Chagoris actually isn't like a really like a Tatooine or anything. It's actually a fertile world with wide open green plains and tall white mountains and blue seas. So it was effectively
pretty Tatooine.
No, Tatooine was a giant
It was
desert.
probably an influential world. It just wasn't industrialized.
Yeah, those people were at a black powder stage during that time. But yeah, wide open green plains. Think of almost kind of like the Serengeti. Just
like it.
Yeah.
And this sort of goes into as well as like how Jaghatai sort of saw his dad, right? Because this is one of the things that always got me when I'm thinking about Jaghatai and the White Scars, because they're all, well, like we've been over, and very individualistic, right? Very much, hey, I want to be me and my sons. We're off on our own. We'll fuck off to the other end of the galaxy. You don't bother us. We're not going to answer our phones for the next like 20 years. Okay, have fun. But that being said, it's kind of weird how we saw and respected the Emperor being that type whenever the Emperor's ahead of this giant like bureaucratic machine, all red tape, all organization. But at the same time, he gives credit to the Emperor as like the head of the organization, the guy who made and found it all. You know, he may be dragging along that giant dragon behind him, but he himself is the warlord who basically did that. He leaves the fucking details to the peons, you know, that Malcador took care of, the council on Terra took care of, the military leaders. But he himself, he's almost the warlord, the man who's conquering the entire galaxy.
And saw him as the guy that could eventually, you know, bring the entire universe together.
Yeah.
So he gets to his Legion, and of course, you know, we always have that moment with Legions where they're like, "Oh, Dad, we're so happy you're here. You know, we've got to do something to show our solidarity with our father."
Speech.
And they were like, "Oh, you know what we do on Chagoris? We take ritual knives and we scar up our faces, and it shows your signs of bravery." And they were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it, Dad." And so 50,000 fucking warriors in an event known as the Blooding took on the Chagorian honor of ritualistically scarring their face with the scar of courage, I believe it was, and took on new Chagorian names, which ended up becoming a big thing in the White Scars. Anybody that they got from Terra was given was made to. I think they were made to forge like their own Chagorian blade.
Not quite like that, but it was very close to it. So they still took whenever they were still training in aspirants and going through. First of all, the White Scars had very, very high levels of training that other guys had to go through.
Yeah, very strict.
Yeah, very strict, to the point that a lot of the recruits could potentially go on, and they had a very close connection with Horus, like we mentioned before, and the Luna Wolves, later Sons of Horus, and all that stuff. But that being said, if they actually went through, that was a huge achievement, and actually on Chagoris, they would actually go and make a blade for them. So they didn't make their own blade, but they would make an authentic Chagoris blade that would be presented to them upon basically their graduation ceremony. Right. And that's whenever they would take the weapon, choose their new name, and they'd be a full-blooded White Scar.
And I did see that, like, occasionally people that wouldn't pass, like, they would pass, like, for being an Astartes or whatever, but wouldn't pass for being a White Scar.
Yep.
They would send them off to other legions, kind of like, I think in Scars, there was one guy that got sent off to, he couldn't make it, so they sent him off to the Luna Wolves.
Yeah.
And then, which caused, a whole bunch of issues there.
Yeah. It was like, hey, we know you passed, but you didn't get that A+. That 4.0 GPA isn't quite there. You got 3.9. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so
he also got into a lot of conflicts with Guilliman and Lorgar, too. Jaghatai.
Oh, yeah, because, he was obviously, the Khan was very much to himself and everything. He was a free thinker. Lorgar and Guilliman especially were very big on the Imperial truth. Lorgar a whole lot more than fucking Guilliman at the point that, Lorgar was preaching it.
What was that song that was played earlier for freaking the Word Bearers? Was it like, I want Jesus?
Oh, fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. That was it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because I love Jesus.
Yeah.
But Jaghatai wasn't fully sold on it. He obviously adopted some things, realized some things, but also Jaghatai took a lot longer than a lot of the Primarchs as far as adopting to Imperial life. He didn't have. It took him a while to learn Imperial Gothic. Obviously because Chagorian is actually a very hard language.
It's like learning Japanese, basically.
Pretty much. Honestly, I think learning Japanese was even easier than learning Chagorian.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Just a series of like guttural grunts and fucking snarls and shit.
Yeah, you got that throat singing does take a lot out of you.
But so writing and living Imperial life it's a very alien thing to somebody that comes from being a fucking humble fucking horse rider.
Yeah, especially when you're living such a primitive life and shit, and then now you have to basically take all the primitive aspects of your life and then mix it in with like advanced technology and stuff like that. It's
and
essentially trying to bring
you have to like completely throw away beliefs or try to find a way to change your beliefs to make them match.
It's the same thing as like taking a person from the baby boomer generation and shit and bringing them to here today, and it's like here's a cell phone. It's like, what the hell? It's the same thing.
Can I just get back and be my wife now?
Why is that woman working?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 60, 70 years after
you take them down the streets, minority spotted.
Yeah.
But and that's the important thing to realize about Imperial Truth is that also, the White Scars and all that stuff are basically Chagoris weren't necessarily like religious in that sense. They weren't worshiping specific deities, or at least to my knowledge. Like during the mostly relevant parts of the White Scars history.
I want to say it was almost because I noticed with White Scars, they jumping ahead a little bit, they have their psychers are known as like storm seers, and they have a very they almost have a really close connection with sorry to say it, the Space Wolves.
Fucking Space Wolves again.
You notice, I want to say there was a conversation between a Rune Priest and a Storm Seer, and they were talking about how closely connected their beliefs and how they believe that their how pretty much that their psychic powers work, because Storm Seers are another type of psyker within the Astartes that they don't necessarily get every bit of their power from the warp.
Mm.
They dip their toes in it a little bit, but they're not full blown, Thousand Sun sorcerers that are fucking, just deep diving into it. They
theirs is
also
more
get a
like
little bit of their.
Theirs is more like specialized in like prescience and shit like that.
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
The best way I found to basically view this is almost like alcohol, right? So in
Mhm.
that case, if you go around and you have a giant bottle of like Everclear or something, okay, very very like high quantity alcohol, that everything else. If you drink that straight, you're going to get fucked up real fast, okay, and you're going to feel on top of the world. Now, if you dilute that with something, it's not going to be as potent, but at the same time, it's probably going to be a little bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same deal with the warp.
So,
right?
so whereas the Thousand Suns are drinking a fifth of Everclear just straight to the head,
Based.
White Scars are basically they're taking like margaritas and like mixed drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, them as Space Wolves. So, sort of like, hey, we believe that this power exists, which it certainly does through Psychers.
Yeah.
But they sort of, we don't believe it comes from straight the warp, and we're not going to basically channel it through the warp. We're going to channel it from what we've established mysticism around, which in this case, usually the planet.
So they're all drinking 40 proof at most, where Thousand Suns are 180.
Yeah, just slugging fucking 180 proof straight down the gullet.
Yeah, they're just taking straight moonshine right out of the
They're moving
distillery.
entire like gallons of it.
Yeah.
But so with these guys, they've had a very, very reoccurring theme of pretty much keeping to themselves, remaining neutral. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. I'm just here to do my job. And even through the Horus heresy, they were very much so like that. And most of it wasn't necessarily, purposeful. A lot of it was just they weren't answering the phone, so they never got fucking any messages, and they never realized what happened.
Oh yeah, dude.
They were one of the last, pretty much the last legions to kind of get involved.
They were the last.
Oh, they were the last.
Yeah, they were the last because of the Alpha Legion.
And,
Alpha Legion kept them held up.
Yeah, so after Russ had commenced the burning of Prospero, which we'll get into that next episode.
Oh,
so I won't go into too many spoilers of that.
Completely justified. And yeah, it's coming from me, who doesn't really care about Space Wolves, but the burning of Prospero was completely fucking justified. It really was.
Spoiler alert: Space Wolves win.
oh.
So after that happens, the White Scars get a notice from, I want to say it was from Horus.
Yeah, so pretty much at this point, Burning Prosper already happened. Isfan 3 and 5 also already happened. Okay, so at this point, it's full scale parody that's going on. So sides have been drawn, and they're receiving a whole bunch of different communications saying, hey, this happened. They got some misinformation from Horus' side. They got some information from the Loyalist side, and it was all sort of bombarding them from once. But the first thing that reached them was Horus' side stuff saying, I forget exactly what, but long story short, it made him look a lot better, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much. I want to say it was pretty much. Oh, Jaghatai, you've come at the right time. You'll never guess what Russ has done. Russ has gone to Prospero, and he's gone crazy, and he's taken out the entire planet.
No.
He's even possibly killed Magnus. I haven't heard anything from him. You should go check this out.
Yeah, if you ever walked in a situation where like you have no idea what's going on either side, and you walk in, you got two groups of people screaming at you, like saying their side, it's pretty much that entire deal.
Yeah.
So, both ends against the middle.
Yeah.
They end up. Finally, Jaghatai's like, look, we're gonna go to Prospero. We're gonna go to Prospero. We're gonna see what the fuck happened. If what Horus is saying is true, we're with Horus. If what Horus is saying isn't true, we'll go with fucking Russ, and we'll go back to Terra. We'll do what we need to do. And so a bunch of shit happens, and they end up going to Prospero, and they get there, and whenever they get there, Prospero is absolutely in fucking shambles. Prospero is gone. Prospero is dead. There's nothing alive on Prospero. And Jaghatai immediately goes, oh shit, Horus was right. Fucking Russ has killed everybody, and now we don't know what to do. And eventually, the soul, I want to say it was the soul of a thousand sun or something that had somehow remained due to work fuckery on Prospero, because because everything died except for the souls.
Yeah, well, that was one of the cool things is because if I remember correctly, they straight up, the planet itself was pretty much dead by the end of that. Like, it was dead. And as such, it almost turned into like a mass graveyard. And as such, the souls of everybody who was slain there sort of haunted that area. So they, of course, encountered that and slowly learned the truth.
Yeah, so very slowly, as they're fighting a bunch of horrific soul bugs that they can't hurt but can hurt them.
Yep.
That was a fucking dope ass fight scene. They eventually learned from the soul of this Thousand Sun that, you know, they have been completely led astray. That Horus was the one that turned. Fucking Russ came there and destroyed them, but it was totally justified. Russ, was following
the Khan. Wasn't the Khan like? Didn't Russ call the Khan and be like, "Hey, man, freaking, we just got back from Prospero. We want to join up with you guys. Whatever. Like, what's going on?" And
it wasn't like just after, but it was still after he's trying to contact the Khan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they were intercepted.
And
right?
while all this was going on, it was in the middle of them. I want to say it was in the middle of them about to get intercepted by a fucking fleet of Alpha Legion.
Yeah, Alpha Legion.
He's like, "Hey, we need help. You're
Horus,
out here. You can help us."
Yeah, Horus sent the Alpha Legion after the Space Wolves, didn't he? And fucking,
I think so. I think he sent the Space Wolves and the Death Guard.
Yeah, he sent Alpha Legion after the Space Wolves to go basically destroy the rest of the guys there before they were able to join up with the Khan or some shit.
You get such good dialogue in that book between fucking
dude. There's so much shit going on
between fucking Lehman Russ and Bjorn. Fucking Bjorn is the only space wolf that fucking feels the need that he can talk back to fucking Russ and gets away with it every time.
Anyways, there's an entire he said,
yeah,
he said, and then he said, and there's even more he said. But the biggest part, we won't go full detail into that because that's way too complicated. But one of the biggest things that I think is cool is talking about the warrior lodges that were present at the White Scars and what happened there. So, and during that entire prelude up into, the actual Horus Heresy, everything else, the word bearers have spread out all their funny little apostles, quirky little guys, right, into all the other legions and started forming these warrior lodges that almost universally everybody accepted. It was like, hey, this seems like a cool little icebreaker. Let's go and chill as equals.
It's a cool little thing. We can all meet there, and it was a great. In all honesty, it was a great idea because it's a place where your battle brothers could meet in a place where rank didn't matter. No one saw rank. No one saw anything, and it actually ended up becoming kind of it ended up becoming the fucking. The inspiration for this podcast, you know, because we are the Serpent's Lodge, which was the original Warriors Lodge on Davin.
Yep.
And it's a place where us three come together and we talk to you guys with no fucking rank or file or anything like that. We're just fucking three dudes who love Warhammer and love bringing it to you guys.
Yeah.
But so these things were awesome because there was. You could go and you could talk ideas and talk battle strategy, or you could go, you could come in and, fucking spar with brothers or, sit down and have a drink and debate ideas and philosophies and whatnot.
And walk and say, hey, Jeff, that was a good shot on that orc. How about those Harad? Am I right? Glad we're not in that campaign.
Glad we're not the fucking Iron Warriors.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, obviously these lodges did serve a purpose, which was converting them basically the side of Horus.
Yeah.
As the secret psyop type bullshit that fucking word bearers were doing.
Yeah. If what was it? Erebus and Corfarin were the ones going around and starting it all up and shit.
Those cocksuckers. Anyways.
I hate them both.
But that led to, in my opinion, one of the coolest things because during this time, although they were trying to unravel the truth, whenever the Khan descends to Prospero, they lose all contact with them. And everybody starts freaking the fuck out. Mainly all these lodges who were super intent on joining Horus' side.
Yep.
So as such, while he's down there, and long story short, the Khan starts fighting Mortarion. He showed up, surprise. But the lodges actually basically start engaging in a civil war with all the other White Scars. And they immediately try to do a quick little, hey, the Khan said we should be in charge while he's gone. And everybody else looked at them and like, no, the fuck he didn't. Time to fight. Yeah. And they sort of just had a little bloodbath over that.
Until the Khan shows back up on the ship and it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I left for 5 minutes. You goddamn toss the room. This is why Mom doesn't love you fuckers. Yeah.
So So here's an interesting freaking tidbit. So when the Khan goes to Prospero, right, is what you were talking about. He sees the excuse me. He sees the ghosts of slain thousand sons fucking everywhere. And at one point he actually gets confronted by an ethereal projection of Magnus. And Magnus is telling him, you got to choose sides. Don't trust the Emperor. This isn't that, blah, blah, blah. And fucking Jagatai's like, nah. And then he just freaking kills the projection of him with his sword and shit. And then not even like that far later, he encounters a Mortarion and his death shroud, and they have to fight now. And it's like, the Khan can't just win for a second.
No, but he absolutely fucks Mortarion.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Mortarion gets like a couple of little fucking quick little strikes on him, but after that, the Mortarion...
there was a decisive winner.
Yeah, there was definitely... You just couldn't... He really couldn't compete with the swordsmanship of fucking Jaghatai. You know, Jaghatai is one of the more fucking martial prowess.
Oh, very easily. Up there with the Lion, too.
Yes,
people seem to disregard Jaghatai half the time.
Yeah, I would say up there with the Lion and with the Lion, Russ, Angron, very, very, very martial prowess.
Oh, yes, very skilled in that.
Even if it's not in pure ferocity in battle, just in pure skill.
Yeah. And then Mortarion does a little, we'll see you later here, man. We'll fight again.
Till next time.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
So, that ultimately decided their fate, and they were like, okay, you know, we're with Dad. Fucking, let's go fuck some traitors.
Yeah.
And I'll go on to you for that because I haven't read the Siege of Terra.
I got it. Okay, so long story short, we're going to skip ahead a little bit because we're not trying to do an entire play-by-play before series.
10,000 years later.
Yeah, 10,000 years later.
No, actually,
basically,
that's 40K.
long story
No,
short, Path of Heaven, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, long story short, to make the way back to Terra, there's a few hiccups, a few people die, a few more people get injured. Overall, people feel very sad. But they get to Terra. And then becomes the second war, and that's the war with fucking Rogel Dorn over the goddamn planning of Siege of Terra. Because if you're talking Imperial Piss versus White Scars, I'm not trying
Regal
to
Dong.
pop them up. Shut the fuck up. But the White Scars are very like free-natured, and they're very hit and run, everything else. Siege warfare is an antithesis to how they fight combat, okay?
Yeah.
In Siege warfare, unless you're doing like a Sally, which in this case was not Rogel Dorn's plan at all, you basically got to man the wall and fucking stay there. Okay?
Yeah, that's why him and Perturabo were always at odds, because one siege and one defend.
Do sit and wait.
No, they hated it. So even whenever the Siege of Terra finally begins, I think it was like the 7th day is the Khan.
It's like giving an ADHD kid crack and telling him to sit still.
Yeah, have you ever seen ADHD kid like?
I'm close to the microphone. Quit doing it.
If by close you mean social distancing, then yeah.
I'm not 6 feet, motherfucker.
Keep it up or give you a mask. This goes on.
I want the mask.
But as this Siege of Terra basically continues on, it's almost like a Sherlock Holmes Moriarty type deal where it's like Rogel Dorn's like, I know you want to obey my orders, so here's what I want you to do. Knowing you want to obey my orders, and the Khan's like, I'm not going to obey your orders, but I know you know that, so therefore I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And then Dorn's over there saying, I planned that all along because I knew you wouldn't do this, and you do this.
17D chess, people. That's what's happening here.
And eventually, while they're also fighting, you know, all the traitors, everything else, they're also kind of fighting each other. And not to like a super great degree, but to enough to where eventually the walls are falling. It's starting to look really, really bad. And one of the major spaceports outside of, like at the edge of the palace, called the Lionsgate Spaceport, was overtaken by Mortarion. And it's being turned into like this little stinky, putrescent vat of horrible Nurgle fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And the White Scars are like, that looks like a good target. Hey, all the remaining Imperial Guard regiments, give me all the fucking tanks with air filtration units still working, and we're going to fucking go. And that becomes the great... yeah, fucking throw singing on the top. And that's whenever they'll actually... Finally, Jaghatai is like, hey guys, we're doing this. And in one of the badass scenes of Siege of Terra is he proceeds to go... And between the front lines at that point, Lionsgate was a very long distance. It was maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, like just full, like pedal to the metal fucking driving, everything else. And it's like a giant charge to Lionsgate Spaceport. And they just fucking booked that shit. Okay. And during that time, he literally just radios Doran and says, "Hey, Doran, I'm fucking out." Doran's like, "Yeah, I need to do this. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Go." But long story short, they end up taking it, everything else, and thus ends the White Scars of the Siege of Terra. Because they actually take it, but the problem is they're now behind enemy lines. And also, Jaghatai gets dragged back. He's almost dead, and he's basically KO'd for the rest of the Siege of Terra. So
when is it that he disappears into the fucking warp?
That happens after
Dark Eldar.
Yeah, he goes into when he goes into the webway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's afterwards. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that was him at the Siege of Terra. Afterwards, Gilliman, decides, we need the Codex Astartes. No one should be this powerful.
No, Doran, you don't need your legion.
We need to write a book in case we all fall to chaos again, even though we know chaos is a thing and we can defend ourselves from it.
Guys, will you please sign this petition to split into chapters?
Hey, guys, I have a yearbook. You guys want to sign it? That'd be really cool.
And of course, fucking, Jaghatai, being a dumb Mongolian like he was, didn't read the fine print and was like, "Oh, yes, I shall sign this." Oh, yes.
Have great summer. See you in space camp.
Exo, Jaghatai.
Yes. But that being said, there's two major things we can take away from this, okay? So the first part is, that was the formation of the White Scars until then, all the way up into, like, the current day, sort of like 40K, so to say. Is they've done their shit. I'm going to do that in 1 second. But the second thing is, whenever Jaghatai was fighting Mortarion, he died. Like, he flat out died. And it took all
Mortarion or Jaghatai?
No, Jaghatai.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it's just straight up dead. But then they got him back enough, like, in time to Malkador. The Malkador literally basically lassoed his fucking soul, dragged it back into his body, said, "Stay there." And this basically proves a recurring theme among all the Astartes, is that whenever the Primarch, like, actually dies, the fucking Astartes lose their fucking shit.
Oh yeah. It's like a psychic pulse that every one of these Astartes can feel,
and that can give us a very good indication also of whether we like it or not, which Primarchs are still alive. Because this happens regardless of distance, regardless of anything else. People know. Okay, so that being said, that happened. White Scars lost their shit. Obviously, later Blood Angels die. Blood Angels lost their shit. Whenever Ferrous Mans died, the Iron Hands lost their shit. They didn't even know why.
Mm-hmm.
Oh look, Vulcan lives.
And that's why I still believe that Alfarius is still alive.
No, he's dead.
No,
he's fucking dead.
No, he's dead.
No, in Praetorian of Dorne.
No, it's confirmed Volume 2.
What do you mean Volume?
It's in the Death Volume 2. He's confirmed dead.
Yeah, but that's propaganda. That's
he's dead.
No,
how is he dead?
He literally showed up with the soul of Ferrous, and Ferrous said, "Here's all my dead brothers."
Were there two?
No, there's one. Omegon's still alive, or whoever he is. One of the two is alive.
That's what I'm saying, because they both, that's what I'm saying. In Praetorian Dorne, it seems more likely that Dorne killed Omegon.
It don't matter. He killed one of the twins. One of them dead.
Yes, but one of the twins was a dick, Omegon, and the other twin was actually pretty cool and
okay. Well, regardless on that,
still, one of the twins is still alive.
Whoever he is, whatever's Demeter, if I'm inviting him over for Thanksgiving or not, doesn't matter. One of them's dead.
Can we do this for the Alpha Legion episode and argue on who's Alfarius and who's fucking Omegon?
Look, for the Alpha Legion episode,
that episode is going to be so fucking confusing.
We'll all be somebody else.
Anywho, these guys divided into chapters. Yeah. They divided into, are you ready for the list?
I'm not doing an infographic this time, but go on.
You don't have to do the infographic. So these guys, their successor chapters
aren't there like 400 and things?
No, there's not a bunch. There's like, I don't know, like 15 maybe.
It's not going to be much as Dark Angels because they have...
So,
wait, are they brotherhoods or actual successor chapters?
It says successor chapters.
Okay.
So we have the Astral Bears,
the
Dark Hunters, the Destroyers, the Griffin Lords. They're disputed, though.
The Gryffindors?
The Iron Talons, the Jade Scorpions, the Mantis Warriors, the Marauders, the Rampagers, the Solar Hawks, the Sons of Jaghatai. They're a suspected successor.
Suspected.
That's what it says next to him. It says suspected.
Funny as fuck.
The Storm Lords and the Storm Reapers.
Yes. I recognize a few of those names. They're fucking awesome. Also, Mantis Warriors deserve their own episode. Not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Ooh.
Also, the entire Bad Ab War. Yeah.
And it's funny because the Astral Bears is a successor chapter, but nobody knows shit about them.
Yeah.
Like, not a fucking thing.
They like bears.
You'll find that with
Yeah.
you'll honestly find that with a lot of successor chapters. Like you'll see a successor chapter and you'll be like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Click on it. Let me find lore." And it'll be like, "This successor chapter was involved in this conflict."
Yeah, they were just known to be in a successor chapter, but nothing else. It's
Yeah,
like
they were in this conflict. Yeah, oh, what was in this conflict? There's like one sentence of,
Yeah.
"Oh, this was a conflict in the this was a
'Cause-
conflict in the 41st millennium."
because I'm printing out Space Bears right now, and I was going to do them as a White Scar successor, the Astral Bears.
Successor.
Yeah.
Successor. Anyways, I was like, oh, cool, Astral Bears. Let me look it up. Literally nothing. It's just
Yeah,
these
absolutely
are suspected to be a successor chapter of the White Scars.
While we're on the topic, shout out to the best successor chapter out there, the Genesis chapter. Cool as fuck. Zero recognition.
Genesis chapter?
Genesis chapter, Ultramarine successors, and they have like an entire Persian aesthetic going on. Like Egyptian Persian type deal.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
Ultramarine fucking Thousand Sons?
No, they're not.
Well, that'll definitely be for the 13th episode.
Yeah, they're cool as fuck. Ultramarines are wild. Anyways, back on to White Scars for that.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had about their history and everything. Do you know?
So I was going to say the next thing that would be good to talk about is also specifically about their combat and why that combat works in the 41st millennium.
Oh, yes. So these guys were big into fucking, like, very fast attack, hit and run, fucking, a wave of fucking speeder bikes and fucking, fast moving storm speeders, fucking just flying at you.
Yeah, anything with fast movement, you're fucking going for it.
These guys, I almost think, like, weren't the White Scars, like, the main target for Slanesh?
They actually were, yeah. We delved a little bit into that in the Emperor's Children video because this is one of the things I also would like a lot of people to understand is that when it comes to these legions, everything else, case in point, the successor chapters, right? Black Templars, Imperial Fists, we have all the bastards of the Ultramarines, everything else, and they all vary wildly from the initial chapter. But if you look at the original Legion, but if you look at the Legion, oftentimes it in itself has that overarching theme of like, hey, speed, everything else. But how they utilize that speed is often dramatically different in what they do. A good example of that is like the Mantis Warriors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these successor chapters maintain the same combat doctrine of their original chapter. And to a degree, so does the original chapter. But the Mantis Warriors actually do guerrilla warfare, like asymmetrical warfare, but in the 41st millennium.
Ooh.
And their camo is actually like actual camo. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's tight.
I was going to say, and that was their entire huge presence in the Bad App War, was basically going around saying, hey, we're fighting an overwhelming enemy. So let's make advantage of our speed and the fact that we're essentially bulletproof for the most part to fucking just harass and everything else.
And that was their big, and that's their big overarching theme is it's not, oh, we're going to run in with speeder bikes and the speeder bike is just going to head on charge you. And no, the speeder bike's going to tear through your flanks and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And by the time you think, oh shit, there's a fucking speeder bike coming, we need to react, that speeder bike's already 50 miles away.
Exactly, yeah.
About to make a U-turn and come back
yeah,
at
about
you.
to U-turn and do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, the enemy in a lot of warfare, like obviously modern day as well as like everything else in 41st millennium, usually is based around the fact of, hey, here's my force, we're going to face your force. Okay, that's how that works basically on the tabletop, usually in 41st millennium, because you're fighting over an objective.
Right.
Now, if you're fast, you can change where the enemy's facing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I got my big block of guys in the middle, and you're going to come and punch me in the face. Well, guess where I'm going to aim my guns? At where they're going to be coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hit them where they're not coming from, it doesn't matter if you're not in a fucking giant-ass tank. You don't need the armor. Because those last guns aren't a fucking, 180-degree swivel or a 90-degree swivel.
Yeah.
They don't have fucking 360. And if you got, 20 land speeders coming up behind you, ramming up your ass, you're fucked. It doesn't matter if they just have chain blades. You can't do shit.
Yeah. And they're going to be coming at you full fucking speed. So by the time you even go to 360 and rotate around, they're either already in your face or have just passed you or completely broke away and, came around you on your flanks.
Yeah, the purpose of all military conflict, as specifically, obviously, like 41st millennium, is you have everything and everything needs to be working for you, whether that's logistics, communication, entrenchments, specific weapons to certain jobs, stuff like that. But you can't react. You can't change anything if everything happens so fast you have no time to change.
But
right?
could you imagine these guys if they had turned traitor?
Oh, that'd be horrifying.
Could you
that'd
imagine
be fucking interesting.
Slaaneshi white scars? Because I can kind of see the correlation because their whole thing is built off of speed and that adrenaline rush of going fast. And could you imagine these guys like max capacity, like overcharging fucking speeders? Fucking and now you have demonic fucking speeding fucking oh god.
Traffic cops got no chance, man.
So I guess this could lead us on to that. You know me, this fun thing. It's time for Korn's Legion genetic flaws.
Ooh, what is it?
The white scars, their gene seed is actually, it appears to be stable and initially without any kind of aberration, mutations or anything like that. However, when they actually introduced all the tribes from Chagoris, like all the steppe tribesmen and stuff into the Legion, the gene seed seems to have inherited their wild savagery and thirst for war. Ooh. So they don't really have anything, not really a genetic flaw, but that could lead into, you would think Korn would want them just because of the wild savagery and thirst for war and shit. But Slaanesh, going fast, wanting to
the sensation they get of going fast, where they get that adrenaline rush,
and thirsty for war. Yeah, I mean,
to where eventually that would become like the point of where they get this sensation of going fast, and now they have to go faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, but
Can
it's
you
also
imagine if they fell to chaos, and it's especially Slaanesh. Like these guys would probably be going like Superman Flash levels of speed
like
everywhere.
Damn near fucking Grey Knight series, to
Like
where they're just
speed of
fucking
light.
flashing over the board.
insert Tokyo Drift theme song.
Oh god, yeah.
It's
but
also,
I think it's
I was gonna say it's also not just like the speed. Obviously, that's the main thing we're looking at because obviously that's the easiest to relate to. Adrenaline rush, right? Going fast, roller coasters, speeding in cars. But also, it's the entire fact that they're a lot more individualistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really give a fuck about anybody else. And think about whenever it comes to a lot of stuff anybody does, what's usually preventing somebody from doing a certain action. Okay, usually for like rule of thumb on standard, a big priority is going to be like the burden of social responsibility, right?
Right.
So like, hey, I really want to punch you in the face, but I can't because I know if I do, I'm going to go to jail, right? Or get an assault charge, some shit like that.
Yeah.
If you don't give a fuck about that, you're more likely to pursue that desire. Yeah. And that was the big deal also with the White Scars. Not only was it going fast, it was the entire fact that they didn't give a shit about social constraints, which would make it a super easy, tempting target for doing whatever the fuck you wanted. Because you don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that you brought in their genetic flaw being like primal, like primal savagery and fucking a thirst for war and everything. Because actually, despite their reputation as savages, they were extremely cultured. Jaghatai being from Chagoris and everything. Chagoris had a really complex culture, and which emphasized on art, poetry, stoicism, philosophy, and self-reflection. In fact, a lot of White Scars participated in a lot of hobbies: calligraphy, hunting, storytelling, winemaking, archery, horse taming, Mongolian throat singing. They participated
ancient Terran art.
They practice astrology, painting, crafting, weaving, and also a lot of the Terran-born would practice the art of mastering the Chagorian language, which was often very difficult.
Oh, speaking of the little comparison we made between White Scars and wolves, because they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. This is the funniest thing, and you'll see this especially among like Siege of Terra, because there's some wolves left over by Rust on Terra, but mainly White Scars. But if you went up to White Scars, these two legions that are viewed as very barbaric and everything else. And if you called a Space Wolf, hey, Space Wolf, you're a barbarian, the Space Wolf would be like, what you gonna do about it, If you call a White Scar barbarian, you're likely to end up dead. They don't like that shit.
It was one thing that they see as almost like a dishonor.
Yeah. I was going to say, so they had that same, we have culture and we're very sophisticated, but we just live this barbaric lifestyle, so to say. But White Scars, they're more individualistic, but they're also a bit more, I guess you could say, susceptible to that stigma of sort of like being the savage. And meanwhile, wolves, for whatever reason or not, just sort of get like, don't give a shit. I can live more than you. Fuck off.
I'm a savage. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it was Just one little cool little tidbits.
Yeah, that is a cool little tidbit. That's all I have written down.
Ooh, we want to talk about what they've been doing in recent lore.
Ooh, yes.
Okay,
Let's
spoiler
do that.
alert, not much. But
Yeah, pretty much.
the most notable campaign they've been a part of is they've been a part of the Vigilus campaign. So obviously for the past however many years, they've also been doing stuff, right? We got essentially 10,000 years between Horus Heresy and Modern 40K. They've been doing stuff. For the most part, it's not a lot of it's been recorded. There's been some instances, most of it's very underwhelming. But the big deal is helping the defense of Vigilus. So during that time, obviously, Abaddon came along, fucking cracked open the galaxy like a fucking egg. And during that time, there's only like 2 stable warp rifts from the main part of the galaxy to Imperium Nihilus, which is where the Lion's residing right now. Fuck him. But during the warp rift, one of them is called the Vigilus Gauntlet, okay, with the main world of like Vigilus. That being said, mainly during 9th edition, if we want to talk about, lore time, it came under attack by, lo and behold, Abaddon the Despoiler, because he's trying to go and close off the arteries, keeping these 2 segments alive, so he can entirely take over Imperium Nihilus. During that time, you had all like the quote-unquote main characters show up. You had Ultramarines, you had some Imperial Fists, you had some White Scars, and that's what they were doing, because in the first stage of this war, Chaos wasn't even there yet. It was mainly just like orcs, gene stealers, a whole bunch of other nasty shit. All the Xenos came out to play because they saw a very weak but very fruitful planet, and they needed that fucking planet to hold.
Right.
So that's where Gilliman actually sent Calgar to, was Vigilus. So the White Scars had a major part of basically helping scour the Orc Badlands free of orcs, and actually they had a lot of assistance with the Imperial Knights working in that aspect. So the Knights would take care of the Morkanauts, Gorkanauts, Stampas, that type of stuff.
Right, all the big heavies.
Yeah, the White Scars would come on in, clear out an orc camp, fucking speed off. And presumably that still kept up whenever Chaos invaded later on. And in fact, the war for Vigilus is still going on technically to this day in 40K terminology.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the problem is like the Imperium has managed to stabilize it, but it's sort of like the new Cadia to a degree.
Right.
Yeah, because if that closes as like the main rift between main Imperium and Imperium Nihilus, all of Imperium Nihilus, which is already pretty much no man's land, is going to permanently be closed off to the Imperium.
Oof.
Yeah, and that's half the fucking galaxy.
And that cuts off the Lion from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Might
be for the best, but...
So what's going on with fucking Khan being in the webway?
Yeah, so like you mentioned earlier, the last thing we saw is that obviously the Drukhari raided Chogoris right after the Horus Heresy, or like a little bit after. We don't know specific dates, stuff like that. And he hopped on his fastest tricycle and he followed them into the webway. And what the fuck happened to him? We don't know.
No one knows. Yeah,
he's one of the few Primarchs that we have that we know for a fact. Either we don't have any idea where he's at.
He's not coming back. We know why. We're just not comfortable to talk about it.
Where's the meme of him holding like the two Drukhari? It's like, we all know why Jack.
I'll send it. I'll send it.
Yeah, please do. But
yeah,
Jaghatai is fucking ripped out, just fucking Drukhari bitches right now.
Yeah, but that's part of the reason why that makes him a prime candidate to return. All right, because with Vulcan, we knew he's not going to return until his chapter collects all his artifacts, like all 13. They have like 9 of them. I want to say
that's such a weird thing. His Legion has to go on a side quest to bring him back.
Hey guys, I tossed my clothes all over the galaxy. Go fucking find them.
And doesn't like the Blood Ravens have like one of them?
I mean, in game, it's not canon that they have one of them, but at least not to my knowledge. But yeah, and then obviously we know Corvus is just spoken out Lorgar live terror. Yeah. We know Russ will return during the end time, which technically it is the end time right now, right?
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, but Jaghatai, he can return out of thin air. If GW needs to, they don't need to do any prompting. If you want a Primarch to return with like 0 build up, just super unexpected, Jaghatai's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And also, they have an entire theme right now of they're bringing back the Primarchs who didn't get like the heyday during the Horus Heresy. That's what it seems like, okay? Because it was very much like Sanguinius, Dorn.
Yeah.
Of course, like
they brought back Gilliman.
Yeah, but Gilliman was basically Calth, and he played a big part, but he wasn't like main character. Dorn was pretty much the main character for Loyalists in terms of like Siege of Terra.
Yeah, honestly, right now in the Horus Heresy books, like I said, I just finished Outcast Dead, and I just started Deliverance Lost, and Gilliman has been mentioned in all these books so far, but
I love all the little
they've never
side human
done
books
shit.
because it's literally just Dorn has to deal with Imperium bullshit.
bro, it's always Dorn dealing with some kind of Imperium bullshit.
Like
and,
Dorn just pops in,
red
and I'm
tape.
so excited because Dorn's always just like,
The
Yeah.
fuck is it now?
What is this? Really, assassins? We're meeting in secrecy, and we've got to set. Why?
Guys, this is
Fine.
too edgy. Why the fuck's your name like
Yeah.
Killer Shadowhand XXX?
Yeah,
360 no scope.
who let the psyker out of jail?
yeah. It's like, oh god, really? Now we've got 7 dudes who just broke out of jail. Now we got to find them. Like, Jesus Christ, he's dead.
Man, but that being said, this is again going back to what I mentioned earlier about when the Primarch dies, no matter where their sons are, they always feel like psychic backlash.
Oh yeah,
Granted, we've had 10k years. Most of that's unrecorded. Maybe it happened. The White Scars kind of ignored it. Like, man, that was weird. You know, fucking menopause.
or
shit.
or maybe it
Why
happened.
do I feel depressed all of a sudden?
But
Exactly,
because he's in the webway, because obviously if he died, let's say if he died in the warp, you're gonna feel it in the warp.
Yeah.
But the webway is like parallel dimension to the warp.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The only question I have about that goes back to actually Ferrus Manus, because in yeah, which by the way, if you're listening, I mean, you care about spoilers, you've had your fucking time to read this. I'm sorry. Fuck you. But that being said, we got a little thing of Ferrus Manus's ghost basically dragging his hammer through the webway whenever he was dead.
Interesting.
That being said, very clearly, whatever distinction between the webway and the warp there is,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily apply to spirits, or at least like the souls of Primarchs, or maybe they're strong enough. Maybe just coincidence. Maybe GW didn't think about that.
Maybe there's a back door in the warp
There's a
that
back
leads
door.
to the webway.
I mean, potentially, yeah. I don't doubt it. Yeah, thanks to Magnus, yeah.
Yeah, no shit. God, that dude.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that explains a lot,
He
actually.
just
that-
pops into the fucking pops in through the fucking the gate of Terra. Just, oh shit! Oh no!
Oh, wrong door, sorry. Close.
Oh God, I did that once. It didn't go well for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I have opened the wrong door.
Oh, shit. I'm going back to my Drukari
But-
concubines. Please, show me the way.
Because yeah, the only species to be using the webway right now are the Eldari and Dark Eldar for that matter and stuff. Nobody else. So
And the white scars.
yeah,
Just Jaghatai, but that's
yeah,
enough.
just Jaghatai. Yeah. So I'm wondering if he did die and that psychic pulse was released, if it didn't really affect anyone because it's not
Maybe he's-
technically in the warp or even
That
outside
could
of the
be.
warp.
Maybe he's dead. Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he got captured by the Drakari.
Maybe he's not dead.
I feel bad for the man. Can you imagine being captured by the Drukari for 10,000 years?
Oh, dude.
Especially being a Primarch and they know you're a Primarch.
Yeah, and also your healing factor, everything else,
Oh,
dude.
Yeah,
You're
the
fucked.
the amount of batteries hooked up to his nipples must be powering the city. Like
Oh yeah.
Do it some more. I love it.
straight out of camera.
Yeah.
Drakari concubine, hook up 4 batteries.
Oh Lord, he
I-
goes
I-
back. He's a sadistic fuck.
I really do hope that that GW or Black Library actually does something with Jaghatai. Either let us know if he's dead,
Give
bring
me
him
more
back,
nipple
or
rings.
something. Because you're right, he's one of the Primarchs that you never really hear anything about. Like unless
Maybe
you're
that was
reading
his
it.
thing. Maybe he's so closed off that he just got kinky, and so now he's just living in ecstasy at the fucking on Kamarog.
He pops out. He's wearing some dude's face. He's got piercings all over.
Please, Jakari woman, use the Nito dildo to peg
He's
me.
teaching them
I thought we were done with
acupuncture.
them for children. Shit.
Yeah, he's teaching them acupuncture and shit.
No, they try to go hook him up to a torture machine. He's like, "You are the bitches. No, this is how you do it. Clamp my balls. Do it."
Do it. Clamp my testicles.
But
Yeah,
so-
that's pretty much it for the White Scars. I mean, GW don't really do much with them. Like, how many books do the White Scars actually have? What
In
there's
the Horus Heresy, 2.
In the Horus Heresy, there's 2, and then just in general, there's Warhawk, which is still part of Horus Heresy, isn't it?
mhm.
Yeah, isn't that
that's his book.
Isn't,
Yeah, by far.
yeah,
There's
there's
maybe like
Warhawk, and then there's the fucking the Primarch book.
yeah the
So 4 that I know off the top of my head.
yeah like maybe 4 at least. I'd say maybe just a handful at most. They haven't really done anything with this Legion. It almost seems like they kind of just don't care too much.
I gotta be honest. This
GW
is sort of the...
supports Asian hate.
But this is part of the issue.
You heard it first here from the Serpent's Lodge.
Breaking news. Racism. But going on, this is part of the issue with modern 40k and a lot of stuff they do is because, quite frankly, a lot of the chapters get left alone. And there's some like Xenos player out there that's cheering, like, yeah, take it. Now you know how we feel. But quite frankly, that's how it goes. That's why we cover like a lot of 30k as compared to like 40k stuff.
But still, our Space Marine chapter is more more fucking
Yeah.
lore accurate and fucking lore ready than your fucking piece of shit fucking.
Yeah, but that's also the funny part. I'm not trying to like stroke our own dicks or something, but just for full transparency, like we're three guys talking about lore and everything else. We don't pop in your face and say, "Hey, consumer, did you know we insert quirky stat here that this is?" And we directly tell you something that's fucking false.
Hey guys, did you know that the Leagues of Votan are more human than the humans
Shut
in the
the
Imperium?
fuck up.
Oh
Okay.
God, really? We had to bring that up.
Hey, sorry, listeners. We had to kill Groot, but we're back. We're going to find a third co-host soon. Don't worry about it. Maybe it'll be Jaghatai. He'll come back. But that being said, it's always something whenever it comes to...
Hello, I got a summons to be here. Is this the Serpent's Raj
Why do you look
podcast?
like an orc?
I am Japanese orc. What are you talking? I mean, Mongolian orc. Very different.
Very different. Yes.
My name is Jaghatai Gork.
So I'm trying to look through here, and yeah, there are about five books of the White Scars, and then they have like mentions in other books. Like one of them here is like Psychic Awakening, Faith and Fury, pages 18 and 19.
Ooh, 2 pages.
So,
Oh, boy.
So
Wow.
yeah, they're mentioned in a lot of pages. Hell, a White Dwarf. White Dwarf pops up here more than literally any actual book.
Yeah.
It's like they've been relegated to magazines.
If you
for their lore.
want the most recent book series in terms of like chronological order that's involved the White Scars, the best you can get is the Badab War and the Mantis Warriors, and good luck.
Yeah, and I did see the Badab War here, and that was relegated to. Let me see if I could find it real quick. I just saw it, and I think it was like maybe a chapter.
I guarantee you the mention's just gonna be like Mantis Warriors, proud lineage of Jaghatai Khan, and that's pretty much about it.
Probably.
I just want to say that I'm autistic bouncing for the
yes.
next fucking episode.
Imperial Armor,
know.
Volume 10, The Badab War, Part 2, page 64.
Bro, the fact that you have to go and reference Imperial Armor, volume whatever, whenever it's been out of like circulation so long, that just goes to show how long it's been since we got
Yeah,
White Scars.
and they get a
fucking
page.
ever.
Yeah, it's the Part 2 of that book, page 64,
I
is
wonder what it says.
mentions the White Scars.
Congratulations, you guys got like 2 words in a sentence. Have fun. That's all you're getting for the next 10 years.
That's all you get for White Scars until Jaghatai comes back.
Oh yeah, and that's the Mantis Warriors.
Yep, fucking do it.
Yep, it's the Mantis Warriors. It's chapters of the Badab War Part 2. It's the Mantis Warriors, Salamanders, Executioners, Sons of Medusa, Minotaurs, Carcharodons, Exorcists, and the Star Phantoms.
Exorcist, let's go. Ooh, Star Phantoms. Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot of really fun, like, second founding onwards chapters. Like, I know, like, first founding is always, first in my heart, first in my love. But the second founding chapters, especially for a lot of these guys, just fucking juicy.
Space Sharks?
Yeah, Space Shark. Yeah, they always got a place.
Space Sharks are
Space
just
Sharks.
Imperial propaganda. Tyberos doesn't exist.
He can't hurt you. It's fine.
They are dope as hell, though.
Oh, yeah. And also the conspiracies around Tyberos. Anyway, we're going to drop topic. Anyways,
But so next episode is the Space Wolves.
I don't got to do shit. This will be interesting.
I might
I'm
be
just
sick
gonna,
the next episode.
It's going to be you two talking. I'm just going to toss like some gasoline in there every once in a while.
Just toss me some dog biscuits. I'll be okay.
I'm going to just completely grandify Magnus just to piss you off in this next episode.
Do it.
Hey, real quick, before we leave, who is the current chapter master of the White Scars?
The current chapter master of the White Scars, if it's not Corsaro Khan,
It's probably Kasara Khan. That's not
there was another dude.
Hold on, I have it. Their chapter master is the Great Khan Jubal Khan.
Yeah,
No,
Jubal
it's
Khan.
not.
That's what
Jubal
it was.
Khan was 30K.
Great Khan of the White Scars, the current chapter who was chosen to become the first chapter master of the Dark Hunters chapter.
Jubal Khan is the current chapter master or Great Khan of the White Scars Space Marine chapter.
I swear to God, they just reused the name. That's going to be funny as fuck. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he took up the name as like remembrance of this great hero from 10,000 years before.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
There's-
it's Jubal Khan. Never
Yeah, it's
mind.
Jubal Khan. Yeah,
That's what
because I
it
think,
says,
didn't Corsaro die or some shit?
Well, there's a guy in 30K
I thought
called
Corsaro
Jibble
was.
Khan.
I thought 30K was Corsaro Con.
No, 30K is Jaghatai. Corsaro was the Corsaro was the chapter master, if I'm not mistaken. He's the captain of the third company and master of the hunt. That's what he is. So he's technically not even the Khan. Jubal Khan is the Khan, and then Corsaro is just the master of the hunt and captain of the third company. So the master of the hunt, if I'm not mistaken, is almost like the let me look it up here. He's
It's almost like
tasked
their
to hunt
chaplain,
down
ain't it?
any enemy who has clashed with the chapter in the past and through luck or skill managed to survive the encounter. That's the master of the hunt. Okay, so the master of the hunt is dispatched to hunt down a specific enemy every 25 years.
Oh my gosh, how do we miss that? That's like the coolest. Okay,
Yeah.
I totally forgot about this. This is my mind until
The
you said
title
that.
is traditionally bestowed on the captain of the fourth company, although the current incumbent, Captain Corsaro Khan, commands the third.
Yeah, they literally just have that's one of the coolest things that they do is in Modern 40K, they literally have headhunters pretty much. So there's like a great enemy at the chapter. They literally just go send him out and say, hey, bring me his fucking head on a spike. And they fucking do it.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
That is fucking dope. The White Scars have a chaplain who's also a member of the Death Watch, right?
Oh,
Guess what his name is?
Jibble Khan again.
No. Kubla.
God damn it.
It's like you couldn't make him a Khan.
GW just got like
You could
the
make
same
him-
like 4 letters and they just put in like a
Couldn't
random
have made
generator.
him Kubla Khan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could have made him Kubla Khan. Like that'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
That's funny as fuck though.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
join us next week. We're going to talk about Lehman Russ and the Space Wolves.
Oh,
Ugh, gross.
Awoo.
Ooh woo.
No, let's not do that.
No,
That's
Hey,
different.
hey, whoa, whoa.
Oh.
Heresy.
Oh.
We're talking about
Heresy.
furries, okay?
Repent.
Ooh woo.
Oh man, we're talking lore now, Flash Kids.
Look,
Let's
first
keep
of
the
all,
furries
I
out of
just want to
this.
state that Group breaks the stigma on being a Space Wolf furry player.
But he's still cringe. So
No. Not cringe.
You don't break the second stigma though,
What's the second stigma?
being pagan.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
that is facts.
You do break the most important one. That's good.
But alrighty, y'all. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for the next episode.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you later. Hey there, guys. From all of us at the Serpent's Lodge podcast, thank you so much for listening to the end of the podcast. It truly does mean the world to us. If you don't mind, and if you enjoy this content, why don't you go on ahead and follow us on Spotify, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. And in the meantime, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.